Hello, welcome to the VCU Autism Center Ask the Expert series. My name's Staci Carr and I'm here with my colleague Josh Taylor, and we're here to talk about transition to adulthood. Thank you, Josh, for being here today. Could you tell me what some important considerations as far as academics might be for the transition from high school to post-secondary education?
Yeah, and there's a couple things to think about. I think unfortunately one of the first things about post-secondary education is that our outcomes for students with autism are still really poor. A recent study in 2015 found that only about 36% of students with autism who graduate from high school even enter any college or technical training of any kind. And that's about evenly split between academic programs and more vocational oriented programs. But the thing is, there's a lot that's out there that are available for all types of students, whether they graduate with a standard or advanced diploma or more of a technical diploma that focuses on vocational skills and alternate curriculum. So a big part of what we need to do as educators is really get the information out there about options and really raise expectations. So there's a lot of studies that show that the expectations we have as teachers, but also for students and parents, that those expectations really translate into predicting enrollment and success in college down the road.
So you talk a lot about expectations, and that makes me think about parental expectations, your self-expectations, and the expectations of the IEP team. Can you talk to me a little bit about what those, how those translations of expectations would help students in the future, especially in the IEP process?
Yeah, so when we talk about the IEP process, especially in high school, we really want to make sure that students are involved in participating in their IEP. And really this should happen even at younger grades. There's a lot of great resources that support students as young as elementary age participating in some degree in their IEP process and having some awareness. So when students get to college, it's a very different world. The IDA, the legislation that really governs and gives services for students who are in K-12 settings, doesn't apply to college anymore. Students are protected in the Americans with Disabilities Act, but really that only governs accessibility. And so it really puts the onus on the student to go and seek out the Disability Services Office, self-disclose their disability, and really have a lot more ownership of the process and really be able to negotiate one-on-one with professors about accommodations that they need. So it's really important that we get students ready to know themselves and what their strengths are and what their difficulties are, and what accommodations they need in order to negotiate that part as part of a college student.
Are there any resources out there to have teachers help students learn that process?
Yeah, we're very lucky in Virginia. We have a fantastic resource that's dedicated to this called the I'm Determined Project, and their website is imdetermined.org. And they've got apps, they've got videos, resources. They do a conference every year to promote student leadership, and they're really focused on this idea of self-determination. So making sure that students have the skills to be able to advocate for themselves, to set goals, and to really take ownership at being the one kind of driving their own lives.
That's very important as they transition out of high school and are adults, and they're the ones who needs to go to the Disability Services Office and so forth. So what are some last tips that you might have to the school team about preparing students for college?
Yeah, I mean, I think the key is to have high expectations of students. The more challenging courses that students take, the more likely they are to succeed in college and to enroll in college programs. Like I said, informing about the options that are out there. So regardless of a student's skills and areas of need, there are programs across the country that match those. We have a great one here at VCU called the ACE program that focuses on delivering an inclusive college experience for students with intellectual disabilities, including autism. And so they give great supports and combine kind of academic instruction with vocational, and so it's a great opportunity, and there are many more across the country similar.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Josh.
My pleasure.
If you have any more questions about the transition process or any other topics about autism, please feel free to visit www.vcuautismcenter.org.